What up, Schmoedown rockers? It's hot. Also, I'm a little worried I almost lost my ability to use this camera for a second there. Not gonna lie, that kind of scared me for a minute. I can breathe. All right. Now, even though, let's say that we didn't have much of a breather when it came to the matches we got, hey? Whew. Hold on. I'm gonna just deal with the sound of my AC cooling me off in this hot day. Because it's June. And shit. I'm gonna just put it down right there. I'm gonna... fuck. Okay, now that we're done screwing around. So, Schmoedown rockers. Welcome to Schmoedown Rocks. This is Rockin' Movies with Tyler. I'm Tyler. And yeah, so... because of the incident last week, we only had Goddard. I realized I decided to do the 2 play matches as separate vids because I didn't want to overclog things, because I figured I'd have like literally 4 other matches to talk about besides that other match. So just get the playing matches out of the way and talk legit tournament for Innergeekdom and where we're currently at going into quarterfinals, or at least we now know the other half of the bracket, what's going to happen quarterfinals from this doubleheader, or at least that side of the bracket, because we were, and the Demolanta, it's Andrew Demolanta, the Finstock Exchange versus Joseph Scrimshaw, who's had a chance to belt after winning his, I think twice he's had a shot at, I think maybe twice he's had a shot, or has gone against Demolanta at the very least. I mean at the very least has gone against Damon. Alex Damon, that is, given that we've now officially have the other half involved in this tournament in the form of Alex's wife, Molly Damon. I don't know what she's calling herself. I forget what she's calling herself, but we'll get to that. Well, actually, we'll start with that match, because that would have been just the match we had this week. Those were the doubleheader we had. We also had Barbarian versus the Barbarian, aka Craig Gainer. Or Gainer. I'm probably butchering your last name, and I'm sorry, bro. You're a good dude, from what I know. And I feel, I basically feel bad for Hlavik, essentially. And Barbarian proved his worth. I feel bad for Hlavik because Smets basically stopped any potential Smets had to basically stopped any potential momentum he could have had going into this, because the moment you put him against Barbarian, I knew, like, given how good he showed in his overall Schmoedown debut just in singles, and what we've already seen of his vast knowledge just in the Video Chronic quizzes that he shows up in from time to time, Hlavik would have had his work cut out for him. And it's not that he was, and if anything, all he needed to do was basically make up for the match he put up with against Smets, which was clear that it had everything to do with his involvement of being very busy at Comic-Con and him having to rush straight there. Exhausted. He was not prepared for the buzzsaw that is Smets. Not proper, that is the Smasher. He paid for it there. We see he is a better player. It's just, you kind of got the Navarro one, or at least the one that beat Zipper. Unfortunately, the other fellow dungeon mate in Zipper, in Eric Z-Man Zipper, unfortunately. Hopefully in this tournament he'll have his chance at redemption, depending on whether or not he can beat Emily Rose Jacobson, or if Emily Rose Jacobson can redeem himself for what happened against Alex Damon. Though either way, they will have to wind up facing the winner of Greg Alba versus Kalinowski, which will more likely be Kalinowski. Greg pulling upset would surprise me. I don't know if I'd be against it, but Kalinowski's done more than prove himself. He's a 2 times champ It's just a matter of whether or not he's willing to show up, or if we wind up getting the guy that wound up at the Spectacular, which was not the Kalinowski we knew. We've come to know that won the belt against Mara at the follow-up at Spectacular 3 onward, and wound up eventually finding a way to beat Smets because Smets had his hiccup. Let's face it. And that's the thing. Smets was on fire, and he hasn't played since. Aside from exhibition. And 3 exhibitions and 2... And spoilers given those who've already seen both of those specific exhibitions. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. From a man the Smasher. I was happy with most matches, slightly excluding one, though congrats to the birthday. I could have had a chance to say something to him, but missed my opportunity. So, sorry. Anyways, I'm glad for the Barbarian. I kind of wanted to root for him anyway, like I said, for reasons, as he also even stated in his promo. And his entrance, at least, was pretty true to form. And probably one of the more interesting ones we've had, going aside from what we got between Warfather and Greg Alba, I guess. At least and Havoc was sort of funny with his. At least they tried to make it interesting in terms of their entrances, you know. Well, the way they would have to do them, given this streaming, having to do it this way since quarantine, and, you know, also the fact that, you know, I think Collider's closed down officially as a studio, and it seems he's more involved in the gaming side of things and Twitch and all that stuff. But anyways, Havoc, at least he did well enough that at the very least he got himself out of TKO range. So it wasn't a complete loss, and it didn't give the Finstock Exchange match of the 4 points that he probably could have gotten because of it being a tournament. And I guess it knocked it down to now 3 or 2. So either way, they wound up getting points regardless. But he did well enough that that at the very least it would keep them from getting more points out of the whole thing. So. But overall, it did knock out Swag, and the Den are considered the only thing that it seems Dagnito's or at least Gucci is recognizing as threats, and all he at least wants to do is make sure they're out of the tournament. So even if they don't make it, they're good. They're still good enough in the standings where they need to be going forward. And Dimolanta is looking really nice, and he might pull the win, depending on if Laura Kelly winds up doing it again. But we'll see, because it seems Kelly's on a slightly different level since she's kind of turned heel. But yeah, I'm enjoying. The challenges. There were challenges. One was more reasonable, especially given how great that match was within the Star Wars Twitch matches. Star Wars Tourney Twitch match. Yeah, of course. Say Star Wars Tournament Tourney Twitch 5 times fast. I'm sure you'll mess up your tongue will be tied somewhere. I tell you what. But yes, and of course winner will face Damon, and meanwhile Damon is busy going to eventually that match between Jen Kemp. I think people are sleeping on Jen Kemp. I'm not saying Damon won't pull out a win, but Kemp's, I know, is fan leagues, though it probably has been a while since she has been probably more involved, so that might have something to do with if she doesn't make it through this. And I would be upset in that regard, because she's definitely one of the few female Innergeekdom players that we probably do need to, you know, since we're clearly not getting Mara, and we're not going to be getting at this point, definitely not Rachel anytime soon. So we're going to need something, because at this point all we've got is Emily Rose Jacobson and now Jen Kemp, it seems. Yeah, that seems to be about it, but in terms of, because it seems Mara and Crusher are the only ladies that are showing that have shown dominance at this point in Innergeekdom in the best way possible. Mara and Cushing themselves being the only ones that have managed to pull off a belt. But anyways, we'll see. Hopefully, I wouldn't sleep on Kemp this time around. And Jacobson could have had a chance, but it just didn't work. And I don't think Gucci knew what to do with her, unfortunately. And I do believe we know. And given Kemp is also a part of Usual Suspects, and and possibility that somewhere sort of pseudo managing by Cushing could play a part in it too. No one's thinking that. I mean, come on. But anyways, we'll see. We'll see on that. No, everyone's sleeping on Kemp. I'm expecting Kemp. So at this point, I wish I could have put it in fantasy at the very least, but so far the only thing I put in fantasy is the Andrade match. But Demolante versus Joseph Scrimshaw. We all knew that was going to be some championship caliber stuff for even being a 3-rounder, 1-round tournament match. That is probably the best match we've had all year. That can actually be counted. That isn't exhibition, and that isn't actually a championship match. It is definitely candidate for match of the year, and it went neck and neck to the point where it wanted to go into sudden death. It will regardless, but the implication of the challenge will probably hinder it from being even remotely winning it. But even though the challenge was warranted and it worked, and I do feel bad for Scrimshaw in that regard because he played his ass off. And if any other player, maybe Molly, he probably would have won. Speaking of that, good old Molly. I kind of did expect Molly to pull the win in that match. But I wanted Adam to give Adam Witt my give my dungeon needed to give my dungeon a benefit of the doubt, and hopefully Adam pull out of the well-needed win. He wasn't able to pull the 5-pointer this time around, unfortunately, and yet Molly was. It just went down to the 5-pointer between the two of them, which couldn't expect any other match. It's a shame that wasn't the case when it came to Sullivan, who's out of this tournament because of having to face the buzzsaw that is Laura Kelly. So, and overall, the Star Wars, we have Demolanta versus... We have Demolanta versus Molly. We're going to have, for at least the semifinal for that half, now we know is Demolanta versus that. Now we're just waiting on this week's to finish off that, go into this, and then go into the next couple weeks of being semifinals for Twitch. Albeit with this upcoming one being the Demolanta with Demolanta and Damon. Now, I am personally upset about the whole thing that has been happening personally with the Damon versus that I'm personally upset Witt wasn't able to pull it out but I'm glad to hear he's going in singles, so I have hope that he'll at least give me one win this season. And in that regard, it would be interesting to see him and Preston go at it there, because they proved themselves pretty well when it comes to them going at it in terms of Schmoebaits. See if they can pull that off in that regard for that. And hopefully things with this tournament will go over better for them, and they'll get to finally show that Tom and Paul will actually get to show themselves their capabilities as a team that we didn't get to truly see the way we were hoping to see. The Deep 13 and the Pride has been the team now, the team of the Den to beat. And speaking of things involving the Den, and then of course the Burning Druids and burning things down in general. Hannah, the stakes of this match, Hannah versus Saul. Hannah versus Saul. Still figuring out a last name with him. Someday we will figure it out. Someday he'll want to reveal it. Don't know when, but someday. But anyways, I am excited I was excited for this. I was at the very least expecting Saul to prove that he's enough of a contender to have at least that, to have potential crowd people, if there was a crowd chant one more match for this guy, as he should. I was wanting a barn burner of a match, and not just a complete knockout. I wanted the Saul to prove himself in that regard, and he did that. It's just a shame. Now it's just the jitters. Now he knows, and I'm hoping that if he does pull like what Smashers does, he has the potential to capitalize. And in the future, I don't know if it's going to be another. He might actually be in singles. I'm hoping he does go into singles in a tournament and prove himself there. Because he says that he can, but now he's also proven that he can do Innergeekdom, and he showed that he can. Which also means, if he's in a singles tournament, watch the fuck out. Watch the fuck out. Oh, and Saul, yeah, whatever DMs you have, hopefully if you have a Facebook or whatever, hit me up, buddy. Or look for me. I'd like to talk to you about a few things. One of them being you can, given my recent circumstances, and I think I said this last time, for those who were confused by that, and yes, you can have her. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. And after that, you probably earned it more than I ever will. So, anyways, but yeah, and he's bummed. It makes me sad, and hopefully Rachel got to cheer you up too. Oh, Silver Srini. Rachel, the Switchblade, Silver Srini, representing Slap.com. The magic carp. Specifically. Carp. Magic carp. Yep. It was a great match. It did. Essentially, it went to his 5, and eventually, if he did pull it, like if he just took the time and used his JTEs, which is what he should have done, given himself a chance, given himself some time to think it through, to as apparently we've had to do through recent Sesame Street stuff for Cookie Monster, stuff for our nieces and nephew. Stop. Think it through. But yes, that's what you need to do with some matches going forward. If I'm hoping that's what you do, and you'll be golden. You'll be golden. Don't get yourself bummed down. You do better than me. You've done better than me. Right? Most of the time, how the hell? It's also the power. You must have some beard power to you too. So I tell you what. So keep that beard clean. We're dealing with giving all this other stuff, and groom it pretty good. I'm sure it'll do you. The beard powers will do you wonders in future matches. It did you wonders here. Something Hannah may not truly fully understand, given his beard, which is kind of more like mine anyway. I had to trim up. Sometimes not all ladies can understand especially when mine's a little patchy, the way it grows out. But anyways, if you've seen my beard, you know. Especially if you poked your holes, you'll know. It's like I'll try to. No, never mind. That's a bad crucifixion joke. Yeah. And yes, I'm technically Catholic-ish, so it's just never mind. Just never mind. Forget it. That's two blocks away. But anyways, also, and I feel bad. Like I said, I feel bad for having all that stuff. Overall, the matches were great. obviously the Demolanta versus Scrimshaw is championship caliber, and I hope that someday we do get them two in a championship match, or at least a number of contendership match that is a 5-round, or at least a 5-rounder. We need to have that. And either one of these two, I'm hoping Demolanta can still pull out the wins that he's been having. And he's going to hopefully, given what we did get out of Damon, hopefully Shield can pull off a similar type of match, which means that side of the bracket is probably going to more likely be the winner, unless Andres can pull something out, especially going up against Ken. I'm hoping that in the knapsack match is as good as it's supposed to be. So we shall see. We shall freaking see. But anyways, that's it, guys, for the matches this week. And some of my other predictions going forward. Unless Laura Kelly can pull out another win, but if Andres pulls an upset, then dude, maybe there's a chance that between him and Demolanta, it'll be fun. It'll be one heck of them. Just what we're getting for our semifinals will be interesting once we figure out what happens between Knapsack and Cabrera, which will still, I think, be still a good match. I don't know if it'll be what we got from Demolanta and Scrimshaw, but I'm hoping it'll still be just as good. But yeah, and plus it was nice, and given the whole R&B circumstances, with the matches, with that, since I already had mentioned that in the play-in match, in the Hannah versus Saul match, it was nice to see what camaraderie we would have had between Hannah and him, at the very least, since we didn't get a chance to properly see that in what we could have gotten from that Hitman Happy Hour he would have had. Also, plus I was kind of hoping that he would, given how long we've had to wait. It would have almost been for naught, given the 10-hour stream thing that we're never going to see again. Though I'll probably get the chance. But I missed my chance to basically throw in the frog here. Also, speaking of which, that's something you could do. You might have to talk to... If things don't work out here, and you're done in Innergeekdom, at least, you may have to either go into singles, start up somewhere in singles, or in teams. You still have that possibility going for you if you need to. But then again, you might have ruined it unless you can work something out with somebody that's willing to want to work with you in the Burning Druids as a teammate. Good luck with that if they even want to. Maybe Warfather. Maybe. He seems to like you. You know. Also, you might want to also work on going into work for Sen once the post quarantine, so people give a reason to want to like you. Kermit the Frog here, and especially since you can do Backstreet Boys with it, I couldn't do it. I could maybe, which got me through the night. Maybe I just swap for you. Oh. Also, being able to do... oh, I could not stop smiling from that. And then, I should have done a Miss Piggy joke with you in the chat. I'm eventually going to put on doing that. You've been warned. You've been warned! Man. Yeah, I'm on James Brown it. Man. And as in the King of Soul, not the dude that worked with Eddie Van Halen on helping get the tone that is the Brown sound. The sound of which that will make you, that is so good, that has been considered so good, every other form of high gain guitar tone relies on it. Not to mention, it makes you a shit your pants. Like brown, brown like my hat, basically. I've rambled on enough. What did you guys think of the matches? Leave a comment below. If you like this video, rock that like button with Rust if you must. Hit that subscribe button. Also, link in the description to my Facebook page. So I can follow me there. I technically have a personal Instagram. I don't know if I'll start when and if I will ever start using it more often. I'm barely on it. But I might start just posting videos in there at some point with the Schmoedown and with other things. Maybe you could check those out there. We'll see. We'll see. But anyways, that's it, guys. This is Rocky Movies with Tyler. I'm Tyler. If you smell what the movie trivia Schmoedown, Skybound Entertainment, Schmoedown Entertainment Network, and Schmoedown Rocks is cooking. Ooh, yeah, dig it, brother.